Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm on Facebook Live today, which is very exciting. And I'm going to give it a second for people to find me. And I will also go into the chat as well and put this link here for people so that they can find it. So give me two shakes. Um, and I'm so excited that my voice is finally healing. It has been over probably a week and a half that I have lost my voice, and I really have been so delighted that I'm finally getting it back. Let's see. Let me find all the communities. Oh, shoot, Magoot. I can't find it. Wait, hold. See y'all on Messenger. Let's see. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Okay. Well, oh, here it is. I found it. Hold, please. Here we go. I'm going to come in this guy. And then copy and paste. There's always a chat, by the way, that's opened up every time that there is a Monday live meeting. I will always open up a chat just so that if anybody has any questions about that particular training, we can answer them there. But without further ado, good morning. My name is Ashley Walker, and this is my Facebook group that I've had for a little bit over 2 years. It's called The Holistic Hairdresser. And I started becoming light in March of 2020. It was never my intention or strategy to become a coach or to teach any of this. I simply came from a space of what would I do if I had all of the resources available? And I really had to do that deep inner work, which is what most of us did in some form or another during the pandemic. And that was really how Becoming Light was birthed. And I have learned so much along the way. But what I really do is I do offer everything that I've done on my journey and all of these years of getting healing certifications, getting marketing training, investing in business coaches, and then getting the fruits in my own life as well as within my business. A lot of what I've taught you guys was my transformational story that did have its foundations in business, because before I started integrating myself really and what I was feeling called to do within my life and within my business, I was pretending to be somebody that I didn't want to be in my hair business. And that showed a lot when it came down to the money that was coming in, because money is energy. And for a very long time, I would average maybe like 5 grand, 6 grand, 7 grand a month. And that's not bad, but I really wanted to be further along than I was at that time in my life and my business. And when I started to integrate all of this, I was able to double and sometimes triple my revenue. And it was in an aligned way, meaning that I felt 100% congruent about it. I knew that I was offering my clients an actual healing during their time with me, and that they were also talking about the results that they were getting. And it just created a very, very, very different experience that I had wanted to provide for a very long time, but I didn't know how. And I didn't know how to do it within the space of business, because I think that, like having people see me in my home for, like a healing session is very different from being like, hey, like I'm a business and this is what I do. So a lot of what I'm going to bring you today is going to talk about a lot of the common mistakes that I made in the very beginning. And that's the things that I've had to heal and that I work with people to heal. Many years later, I have been able to create multiple six figures within my business, doing things this way. And that's a lot of what I teach women today. Like over the years, I'm now a ritual master teacher and a healer in the lineage of King Solomon, with a mystery school. And that's a lot of what I study now. But many years ago, I received certification as a Reiki master. I received certification as a Healing Touch Board certified practitioner. And a lot of it was very grounded in energy medicine that is practiced in hospitals that support holistic medicine. I'm also a Celtic shaman, and I have crystal healing certifications, and I'm trauma informed, and I've been sober since 2005, and I have a journalism and a psychology degree. And then more recently, through my time in Becoming Light, I've become a certified life coach and also an integrative change worker. So all of that is what I bring to the table because I really want to help more women in the beauty business to bring sacred ritual and tools for themselves as well as for their clients. So without further ado, let's get into the common mistakes that you might be making in your business. I'm going to cover just 8 items, and then I'm going to give you an exercise that you can do on your own. You can journal about it, think about it, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of a trance, which is based on my integrative change work background. And the number one thing, and this is in no order of importance, but the number one thing that I find over and over and over again, a mistake that we can run into when we're feeling disconnected from our business is we fail to ask for this sale. And we fail to continue to work on finding new people. We can get really stuck in our cycles of just like doing things the way that it's always been. Maybe we're bored in the business, so we're not feeling a sense of joy or intimacy or excitement about making offers to people or going out to find new people. We start to regularly just rely on our clients to refer people to us, and that is wonderful. But people do need to find you, right? And so there is a personal responsibility that does need to be taken when it comes to asking for the sale and making offers, because it really is service. It's not gross. It's not cheesy. It might actually be potentially a financial block, where like you're feeling bad about asking for money, or you're feeling bad about what people will perceive of you if you get into sales or make offers. And that's just something to be aware of, right? The second mistake is emotional discounting. And for anybody who identifies as somebody who is deeply steeped in service, in healing, in forging a authentic relationship with their clients, emotional discounting just can wreak so much havoc in our central nervous system. It starts to degrade the integrity of our business, and it starts to disempower our clients. When we start emotional discounting, we start putting our own projections about money or our own projections about value in somebody else's pocketbook or wallet. And the truth is, I thought that for a long time. Like, I thought that I was benefiting people by discounting and bargaining and all of that stuff. But once I started to understand at a deeper level the energetics of money, I started to realize that I was thinking about my clients from a very disempowered place. And that's not to say that budgets aren't a good thing. They certainly are. But I wasn't even giving them that option, right? Like, I was deciding for them, like, oh, well, they've had a bad day, or maybe they are complaining about something really hard in their life. So therefore I need to discount my services in order to make them feel better. And it's actually not true. Like, we want to come from a place of empowerment when it comes to our relationships with our clients. The number 3 thing has been like huge for me, which is lacking zero communication or zero boundaries with my clients when it came to either the way that they were communicating with me, if it was like text, DM, email, all hours, 6 a.m. till midnight, or failing to automate my systems because I was scared of doing the tech work around it because I had some false ideology that I wasn't smart enough to handle tech. So I had to outsource everything to other people because I wasn't smart enough. And then failing to be very clear, direct, and kind in what my boundaries are when it comes to communicating with me in my business, when it comes to follow-ups for services, when it comes to cancellations or late cancels or no-shows, when it comes to trying to have me handhold with them when it comes to finding the parking. Do you know what I mean? It's like I really had to get very, very clear on what I wanted that to be. And that's actually really empowering for our clients because it helps create a very clean energy, right? Like it helps create professional boundaries, which is good, right? Because that's where we start to step into just another layer of our business of saying, hey, like I am the CEO of a company, even if I am the only, quote unquote employee of this company, but I am running a company and therefore I want to treat myself as such, right? And so I learned that I had to tell people how to treat me. If I started to not tell them, then they didn't know, and then I was basically handing over my power to them and wanting them to be mind readers, and that's simply just not clean energy. The fourth one comes back to money again, which is forgetting or subconsciously forgetting to keep your clients' credit cards on file. And if people late cancel, no show, you know, and then we don't have a credit card, like that's on us. And we have to step into that space of communicating what we want our policies to be, and then also making sure that then we do the due diligence to say, hey, like going forward, like I keep credit cards on file, so in order to reserve the appointment, I'll need your credit card. And that's standard. But in the very beginning, when I was just starting out of treating myself as a company, that was very new, because I had for 14 years at that point relied on the salon businesses to do all of that work for me. So me having to step into a space of visibility and personal responsibility and clarity and communication around that was very new, and I was uncomfortable. That didn't mean that I shouldn't do it though, because once I did that, it actually allowed my client to step in from a place of power, right? Because if my clients are, if I don't have their credit card information and then they late cancel or no show, I'm kind of like, my hands are kind of tied. Like, sure, you can send them an invoice, but I mean, it's not very professional, right? And so when we start changing our business models, we do have to be very aware of the energy flowing in and flowing out and making sure it's as clean as possible. The fifth one is tied so much in tandem, which is not following through on our cancellation policy. So I remember going through this whole period of transformation in like 2017 and 2018 of getting very clear on what it is and then stating it very clearly and then like writing emails about it and putting it on my website. And then the moment happened inevitably, of course, within a couple of months of being in business on my own and realizing, oh my gosh, like people are going to late cancel and no show and I have to follow through on this. And failing to follow through on it and getting into my empathy and getting into my feelings for my clients and believing their sob stories, not that they were lying to me, but placing that as my compass for how I was going to treat my business was only going to continue to erode my own boundaries, my own ethics. It was also going to cost me a lot of money. And I had to just say, hey, Sally, and like it's a line that I use over and over again, like, hey, Sally, like these are not my favorite conversations to have. And like these are my policies, and this is the policy that I hold everybody to, and this is so that I can stay in integrity with my business. And that's it, and I've had to be very simple and direct. And I really invite people that when they start building these kinds of monetary boundaries and systems in their business, to follow through on it, because your ability to follow through on it and actually charge the client is only going to then decrease the likelihood that the rest of your clients will do that. It really is an energetic vibration, as woo-woo and BS as that sounds. Like I've lived it, and I've watched other people that I've worked with live that and find that to be very, very true. Number 6 is huge though. And this is a really sticky little push-pull moment, because we can all get into good days, bad days, and then all of a sudden the rest of our day will be colored with that lens, which is, and I continue to do this work with every single one of my students and every single one of my clients, actually, whether or not they're a hair client or a healing client or both, which is not believing that your clients are responsible and capable people. And what I mean by that is, am I assuming that my clients are broke? Am I assuming that my clients need me? Am I assuming that my clients don't respect me? Am I assuming that my clients won't stay with me as I change these business models? Am I assuming that people think I'm crazy? Am I assuming that people are not capable of finding the parking garage on their own? Am I assuming that people need me to text message them multiple times and be available to them at 10 p.m. otherwise they will leave me? Like, these are the things that we have to just become aware of, and just bit by bit, step by step, become aware of some of those thoughts and start to heal them. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a tool at the end of this for you to start working with this, because you do need to create new neural pathways when it comes to what you believe is possible for yourself, but also what you believe is possible for your clients, because you really do want to become an evangelist for what's possible within your business, but also what's possible for them, right? Like that's really important. And if you are believing those thoughts and then you're writing copy on Instagram or on your website or even in your client communications in person, and you have those thoughts that are eroding away in your mind, people are gonna feel that on an energetic level, even if you're saying the quote unquote right words. Number 7 is not treating yourself like a professional business or like an actual healing provider. And what I mean when I say that is I had to develop systems, I had to develop proof of concept, and then I later, over the years, developed my own beauty business healing certification, because I found that systems and a proper standard operating procedure is just required for being a business when it comes to the healing arts. And that's so important. Instead of just relying on intuition or just doing 100% what feels right and good and being very watery about it, that's fine for somebody who wants to do Reiki at home for free on friends and family members, but it's a very different thing to own and operate a business in the healing arts. And therefore, in order to be taken seriously and also call in people who really want to work with you to receive that level of healing, it required me to have systems and to have professionalism and to have a standard operating procedure, and like how was I collecting data and how was I measuring data, and like that stuff really does matter, because your most important touchstone, whether or not you're working, like whether or not I'm working with my students or whether or not I'm working with my clients, it is a place of service. And at my heart is progressing humanity. And so I want to take people's progression at the topmost of mind. And so having that level of not even credibility, but just like systems, it's meeting people where they're at, and it's creating a place of safety for them to heal what it is that they are calling in at that time in their life. So that's why it's really, really important. And then on the other side of it, in terms of like professionalism, right, is just making sure that you continue to progress yourself in having ways for people to find you in the marketplace. And that's going to be a couple of different metrics. And I go over that more in depth in Becoming Light Mentorship. But a really quick example is working towards having a website. And it doesn't have to be all the bells and whistles. It can be very clean, but it's a way for more people to find you in the marketplace. And it's a huge exercise in your own ability to hold visibility around yourself and to take a stand for something and have other people see you for it. And I know that it can bring up a lot of feelings for certain people, because they do have wounding around being seen or being judged, or they have wounding around perfectionism. Like if it's not perfect, I don't have the right LLC name or the right DBA name or the right copy or whatever, or the right photos. There's all this wounding, and it really is a trauma moment that keeps us stuck. And I really invite people to start to take action today and just know that it's going to change, and that's okay, right? Like we'll never be perfect, but we just want to stay on this path of progression for as long as we have human bodies. And then the last common mistake that I did for so many years was failing to place emphasis on experience for my clients, rather than just being a service. And I say that because for many, many years, so I have a tickle on my nose. It's like allergy season. But for so many years, I really lived like two separate lives. I've been a spiritual person since 2005 when I got sober. I was raised Catholic, but I didn't really bond with that. And so it wasn't until I got sober in 2005 that I really began to walk the spiritual path and start to learn a little bit more about myself. But that being said, like I was a very different person in my business, and that did serve me for a while because I needed to learn about craftsmanship, how to do a razor cut, how to have a consultation, color, product knowledge, like standing in a teacher position, training apprentices, like business foundations, Instagram, all of that stuff. Like that served me very well for the first 5 years. But I will say for probably over 6 years, I started to just call it in some subtle ways and in some not so subtle ways, and it started to create more of a conveyor belt moment for my clients, and it actually lost me business and it lost me connection with people. And once I started to really tap into myself and what my soul was calling for, and really emphasizing experience, that's when the business grew, because it was me, because I was showing up as me. And that's why it's so important, right? Like that's why you can't do what everybody else is doing in the marketplace, because you are 1 in 8 billion. And so you really have to learn what it is that you want to show up as in the marketplace and start to embody that, right? And I know that's, for some people who are just getting to know me, like that sounds very ethereal and way too high level. And so just on a practical level, statistically, last year, 30 billion was spent on wellness and 17 billion was spent on energy healing. And that's in North America. That's not even worldwide. And the projections all the way until 2030 keep ramping up and up and up and up and up. So it's not going anywhere, right? Like there's a reason why in past years you've heard of Madonna, Kim Kardashian, Gwyneth Paltrow, regardless of your feelings about those certain celebrities, but you've heard celebrities not only talking about holistic wellness, but also promoting it and actually developing other brands around that, because people are really starting to crave that. And they're starting to not only crave that, but they're starting to pay attention to it and invest it and show that level of desire with their money. And why wouldn't you? If you are already living in some ways a part of that in your personal life, like why wouldn't you integrate that into your business, right? Like why wouldn't you want to offer what you have learned or what you want to learn with your clients, right? And so those are the 8 common mistakes that I have found in my own business, and a lot of what I work with people on in Becoming Light Mentorship. And if you are feeling the call, I will leave the link in the show notes here in the comments for you to book what we call a 6-figure empathic hairdresser blueprint session. And that's where it's a 45 to 60-minute Zoom call where we go over your goals in your business and what are the constraints coming up. And then we basically make a decision if Becoming Light is actually a congruent step for you to get to the next level. If it's not, I'm going to tell you, or somebody on my team is going to tell you, and we're going to give you some free resources so that you're served either way. If you are, though, then we're going to walk through what we would do if we were in your shoes, and then we will make you an offer to work in Becoming Light. And so, again, I'll leave the link on that for those of you to click. And then for the inner work that I want to walk you through, it's just 3 journal prompts. So grab a notebook or a pen for you to write this. And if any of these 8 metrics are really feeling, and you're like, oh yeah, that's me, right? And so this is why this exists. Like I want you to ask yourself, like, number 1, what am I believing about myself at this moment in time? And just write from a stream of consciousness space of, maybe just letting the pen just go and go and go for like a minute or 2 on like, what am I believing about myself? And give you a moment to write that down or type that down. And then the second question I want you to write out is, what am I believing about the people that I'm working with or talking to? What am I believing about the people that I'm working with or talking to? Because just changing that alone will change the face of your business. I promise you. I've seen it in my business in Washington, D.C., and I've seen it in my business now. What am I believing about the people that I'm working with and talking to? It changes the kind of client who comes in the door. And then the third and final prompt for you is, what am I believing about my offerings? Right? Because it's very important to uncover, what am I believing about my offerings? Right? These questions are really powerful because they allow you to come to a space of what I call congruency within yourself. And that means when you are feeling 100% congruent about yourself, about the people that you're working with, about your price, about your offerings, et cetera, that's really what can change the business. It's when we are not feeling congruent in one of these avenues that self sabotage sneaks in, and we have a blockage of energy, whether it's in the kind of clients who are coming through the door, whether it's about how we're showing up in the marketplace, whether it's about the money that's coming into the business, or the results that we're getting with people. Like that can sometimes come up. But those are really powerful questions, and those, that's the work that I continue to do on myself, you guys. Like everything that I give in here is the work that I continue to do. It's a lot of the work that I had to start with 6 years ago, and I still do it, and because it works. And then the final offering that I have for today is what I call a re-imprinting timeline, right? Because a lot of times we will maybe have ways that we need to change in our life, or we recognize that there's trauma, right? We're like, yeah, trauma, trauma, trauma. And trauma can be like such a buzzword, and it can have like a lot of emotions with it. But I think it's important to be aware of whatever it is. So I want you to go into trance. And trance is different than meditation, just meaning that we don't really know the science of how and why trance works. We just know that it does. And when you're going into trance as opposed to meditation or just closing your eyes, it sticks more, meaning that you actually will change faster. And a lot of people have gotten amazing results from hypnosis, right? Like we hear about people who lose weight, who find their loved one, who manifest money, who manifest their partners, who can do all, who quit smoking. Like they can do all sorts of things with trance and hypnosis, and so it just is a very fascinating realm to work with. So that's why I teach it. So I want you to prepare for your trance. Don't be driving. I saw somebody in Messenger who said they had to drive from the gym. So I want you to place your feet firmly on the ground, and I want you to either have your palms just like resting lightly up on your thighs, or you can have them down on your thighs, whatever feels right and good for you. I want you to have your back supported so that you don't bend down otherwise, and that will cut off the flow of oxygen. So none of this like sitting cross-legged on the floor like a guru stuff. Like I want you to be supported in a chair with good posture. And I just want you to take a couple of breaths. I want you breathing in, breathing out twice as long. Place your hand around your wrist, drop your wrist, stimulates the vagus nerve. Breathing in, exhaling twice as long. This allows your body to drop in. It allows a message to be sent to your body that it's time to tune in. And if you haven't already, I'm going to invite you now to close your eyes so that you can pay attention to your body and your beautiful mind and nothing else, just listening to the sound of my voice. Just trying to find that gentle still point at the bottom of your exhale. Now I want you to open your eyes again, and I want you to do them very gently and just find a focal point in your room. It can be anything. A leaf of a plant, a dot on your wall, whatever it is. It can be the tiniest little detail to be your focal point. Just allow your peripheral vision to soften a little bit and get a little fuzzy around the edges. Gently close your eyes. The number 10 comes before you, and a wave of relaxation rolls down through the body, top of the head to the tips of the toes, softening your body. Open your eyes and close your eyes. The number 9 flashes before you. A wave of relaxation rolls down through your body, top of the head to the tips of the toes. Open your eyes and close your eyes. The number 8 flashes before you. A wave of relaxation rolls down through your body, all the way down, melting a little bit more than before. Open your eyes and close your eyes. The number 7 flashes before you. A wave of relaxation rolls down through the body, melting and softening. Open your eyes and close your eyes. The number 6 flashes before you. The wave of relaxation rolls all the way down. Open your eyes and close your eyes. The number 5 flashes before you. A gentle roll rolls down through the body, melting and softening. Open your eyes and close your eyes. The number 4 flashes before you. A soft, gentle roll goes all the way down through the body. Open your eyes and close your eyes. The number 3 flashes before you, and a gentle wave rolls all the way down. Open your eyes and close your eyes. The number 2 flashes before you. A soft wave of relaxation rolls down through the body. Open your eyes and close your eyes. The number 1 flashes before you. That gentle wave rolls all the way down, softening even more than before. And in this very relaxed state, you are accessing your subconscious mind. And to convince you that you are accessing it, I'd like you to tell a body part. It can be your legs, your arms, your hands. Just say aloud, because I cannot hear you. My legs or my arms or my hands are so heavy. You can imagine them as lead or diamonds or metal, whatever. It's so heavy. And then you might try to move them, and you'll find that it is actually quite impossible to move them because you just told them that they were heavy. And this is to convince you that you are not in a meditation, but you are actually accessing your own subconscious mind. And so because we are here, I am going to work with you to help heal some of the thoughts that come up for you in your business. So I would like you to go to a place in your past. I would like you to go to a past version of yourself. You can be 7, you can be 15, it can be a last year version of you. It can be at any age and any time, right? Because what is time? What is reality for that matter? But anyway, go to a past version of yourself. For those of you who are clairvoyant, you might be able to see her or them. For those of you who are clairsentient, you just might be able to feel her or them. For those of you who are clairaudient, you might be able to hear her or them. Whatever it is, use any of the clairs that you have to connect with this past version of yourself now in this moment. Just going to a place in your past, just imagining a past version of yourself over there, somewhere in the room with you, or maybe you're in a different space, right? Like my version, we're in the woods around a campfire for some reason. But wherever you are with this past version of yourself, I would like you to now send them what they need. I want you to send them what they need, right? What do they need? Do they need love? Do they need acceptance? Do they need support? Do they need resources? Do they need wisdom? Do they need energy? Do they need to just know that it's going to be okay? Right? Just take a moment sending this past version of yourself all of the resources that they need. You can flow it to them, whatever it feels like, looks like, sounds like. And if you find your conscious mind battling it out with you, I need you to tell it to shut up for a moment, because we are working with your subconscious mind. I want you to beckon your subconscious mind forward. And if you could send this past version of yourself all of the resources that they need, send them now. Now let's take it a step further, and I want you to float into all of those resources that you just sent this past version of you and try them on, right? If it's confidence or support or resources or energy, whatever all of the things that you just sent them, I'm going to invite you in this moment to try it on. I'm going to invite you in this moment to become the change. And that's it. I just want you to feel how it feels being the change. Feel how it feels to have all of the resources that you need. Embodying that change and how good that can feel, and tuning into whatever it feels like in your body now. You can visualize you're trying it on like a piece of clothing or a jacket, and you're there. Feeling how good it feels, feeling how you want to feel, being how you want to be, with everything that you need, everything that you are. And when you allow yourself to feel this good, when you allow yourself to be this good, this is how the change happens. This is a huge key part of how the change happens. You still have to do things, but this is a huge part of connecting to you and the spirit of who you truly are. Just take a moment, one more moment, to feel how good it feels, being how you want to be, feeling how you want to feel. And just remembering how it feels in your body. There's like a swell in your chest, or there's a color or a sight or a sound or a smell. And just gently coming back to the here and now in your own time. You'll know that you're ready because you'll find yourself naturally wanting to stretch and yawn and open your eyes. And for those of you watching this on the replay, I'm going to invite you to write the answers to those journal questions down, but also write down what it was that you experienced during that very quick trance of a sight or a sound, or the resources that you sent, and being able to hold that, right? Because I want you to be able to revisit that space. And this is what we can call in integrative change work re-imprinting, right? Like we start to basically go to these past pieces of ourselves, because there's sometimes stories of like a past version of ourselves, and then it replays over and over and over again. We're like, why do I keep dating the wrong person? Or why do I keep calling in the wrong clients? Or why is my business like only bringing in $5,000 a month when I like, no, I want more, you know? And there's like maybe like some re-imprinting that needs to be done with a past version of ourselves so that we can step into a new space. And that's why it can be very, very powerful and go much deeper than this. But I wanted you to have a snack for you to try it on and really experience the power of this. So with that, next week I will be teaching live in Portland to students. So I will not be here next Monday. We will resume after, and that will be on the 19th of June. At the end of this training, I always want to know what you got out of it, as well as I'm going to leave the booking link for a 6-figure empathic hairdresser blueprint session for those of you who are ready to take action today. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your week, and I will see you on the 19th.